Lesson 76. I don't have any. Okay, up to this point, we've learned several kinds of articles. We know how to say the definite article, that is, I have the car. We know how to say the indefinite article, I have a car. And furthermore, we know how to say the partitive article, that we have some of something that cannot be counted, like I have some rice or I have rice. But what we do not know how to say yet is that we don't have some of something that cannot be counted. For instance, I don't have any rice or I don't have any water. We don't know how to say those things yet. So that's what we're going to learn about in this lesson. And to make those kinds of statements, we're going to need to use the partitive article in a negated way. We're going to negate the partitive. We have an example here in this lesson that says, Je n'ai pas de riz. And that means, I don't have any rice. Francois, how does that statement differ grammatically from saying that you do have rice?
J'ai du riz and je n'ai pas de riz. So the du is changed back to de. Remember we said to have some part we said de le or du.
Right. De la is the feminine partitive article. De is the masculine partitive article.
J'ai du riz, j'ai de la dinde. And to negate that, we introduced ne pas as to negate anything. But the le is disappeared, le ou la. So je n'ai pas de riz, je n'ai pas de dinde.
So what it looks like is that with the partitive article, when you say that you do have some of something, gender does matter. For instance, with the masculine noun riz, you say du riz, and with the feminine noun dinde, you say de la dinde, because that's feminine. But it appears to me that when you're saying you don't have any of something, gender doesn't matter. It looks like the grammatical structure is the same for both genders. Riz is masculine and dinde is feminine, but they're both getting the same treatment here when we say we don't have any of them.
Yes, because we have removed the article le or la.
Look at this example here, where we have j'ai une voiture, je n'ai pas de voiture. Now, I also read that if you say je n'ai pas une voiture, that's emphasizing saying I don't have a single car.
If you say je n'ai pas une voiture, yes, means I have not a single car.
To make a similar statement in English, we might use the word even. We might say, I don't even have one car. So there is a slight difference in meaning there between if you use the partitive or an indefinite article. So the next thing we want to tell our listeners, and this is really important, is that this way of saying that you don't have something, it applies not only to things you cannot count, but to things you can count. So anything you're talking about that you don't have, whether it's a car or rice or water or a book or anything, this is how you're going to say you don't have it. Francois, I did some research on this, and I found that generally when you say you don't have something, the thing that you're saying you don't have is going to be singular. For example, in English, if you're talking about tomatoes, you might say, we don't have any tomatoes, plural. But in French, generally speaking, when you say you don't have something, the thing is going to be singular. In other words, in French, you would say, we don't have a tomato.
It's always singular. If you do not have, it is singular. If I say je n'ai pas de voiture, there is no S at the end of the car.
So that's the way it's generally supposed to be. We do have a couple of exercises here where we do have a plural. For example, number 5 and number 6. In those exercises, we have sentences that say, we don't have any children, they don't have any children. And I did some poking around, I did some research and found that although generally when you say you don't have something, it's going to be singular, there are times when you can make it plural. For instance, if someone asks you if you have a plural number of things, then you can respond by saying that you don't have the plural number of things, like we do in exercises 5 and 6. It's maybe not technically correct, but you can say it that way. And actually, when I was looking around on the internet, I saw published articles in which they said things like this. I don't have any enfants plural. So in certain cases, you can say that you don't have a plural thing.